Hello, everyone. So today I wanted to talk about just a bunch of random stuff that's on my mind about Star Stable as of recent. I am training my last horse that needs trained. I think I have like 124, and this is the last one that needs to get max level. So we're doing that. So just to preface this, I'm going to say a lot of stuff that's rather controversial and it might get under your skin. If that's the case, I'm sorry. But I'm really not sorry at the same time. I hope that everybody here is mature enough to understand that everybody has uh, different opinions and that we're all mature enough to understand that. Because the other day, I was on Global, just reading and talking to a few people about some of the upcoming events, and someone went off was because she was part of. Let's just say that she was part of a group that is a minority, and wants everyone to accept her for the way she is. And a lot of people in Global at the time, including myself, were saying, like, hey, you do what you want to do, but I don't subscribe to that. I'm not I'm not an ally of that specific group of people. Like, you do your thing, I really don't care. And she started, like, crying in Global because, oh, you don't care? Why don't you care about me? First of all, everyone on this game is a bunch of random strangers on the internet, unless you know, like, your sibling who you joined with or your best friend from real life or something. Other than that, everybody on here is a stranger on the internet. Make sure you keep that in mind whenever you're talking to people. You don't know who's behind that screen. For example, you can typically, like, if you're mature enough, you can tell people's age by how they type and how they respond to things. It's quite easy to tell people's age by the way they type. But generally, you don't know if that person you're talking to is a full grown adult or is a child or somewhere in between. So, you just don't know. But regardless, like, this person was going off and crying about it, and I was like, look, you know, I have controversial opinions. If you think that I am personally offending you because I don't believe something, then you can block me. Like, I don't care. The same goes for anyone who watches my channels. Like, either understand my opinion and understand why you disagree or agree with my opinion and make your own opinion, make your own conclusion, but don't attack me for what I think unless my thoughts are actively hurting somebody or sorry, this is distracting. Um, unless my thoughts or actions are physically or emotionally hurting somebody on a personal level, okay, yeah, that's fine. But if it's me making a blanket statement, like, how is that affecting you or your life? You know, I don't understand people who go off about that kind of thing. But back to Star Stable. That comes back down to a lot of the community in this game now. What I've been noticing, literally just paging Global here, I'm not trying to call out anybody for what they're saying, but like, if you view some of that stuff, it's like a lot of people they're all teenagers now. So the problem with Star Stable's community is that a lot of people stick around. Now that's good for the game's sake because you make more money off of players that come back. You make a lot of money off of new players buying Star Rider and stuff like that, but it's your players who keep coming back that are going to religiously spend money on the game. Now, a lot of the community on Star Stable right now is between the ages of 14 to 17. Now, I'm not saying anything bad about teenagers, but y'all, please get your shit together. I'm sorry. Like, honestly, you guys are cursing in chat, you guys are making sexual jokes, and you're saying all kinds of stuff that is not necessary in a game that is intended for children. The age recommendation for this game is between 5 and 11 for girls. Anyone can play, but that's who it's advertised to. Girls between 5 and 11 years old. I've played this game through being a teenager. I did take a break from it though, but now I am back, obviously. And, you know, I never cursed in global chat. I never said anything crazy like that because I understood that there was a younger audience involved and that is very impressionable. Now, I understand if you can say like, oh, your parents should be more responsible and not let children on the internet. Yeah, on places like YouTube, not Star Stable, which is a game intended for children. A game that's intended for children has put rules in place specifically to protect children. So to go against those rules because you're feeling edgy that day, yeah, you might not care, but what about that kid? What about that kid's parents? Maybe they really enjoy Star Stable and they're in the prime demographic for the game, and their parents might not let them play anymore because you were saying something in global. You know, it's fine if you're playing a game that is intended for a higher age level, like Call of Duty, I guess. First, first game that came to my mind. That's probably too old for a lot of people that play Star Stable. But if you like playing online multiplayer games and you like cursing, Path of Titans, that's a good example. The Isle, or I don't know, Astride is coming out soon. Whatever game you choose, there's a huge difference between those games that are marketed to higher age ranges than Star Stable. Because don't get me wrong, like so many people stay with this game and play it for the nostalgia factor. Star Stable is extremely nostalgic for a lot of people, and that's why everyone stays. That's why everyone comes back. It's to experience that nostalgia. Probably a reason why I'm riding one of the oldest horses in the game. But I gotta say, like, for as good as that is, now you have kids who think they're cool chatting and talking about sex in global chat where it's readily available for children to read. Like, I don't, as an adult, I don't feel like that's right. That you can call me a boomer or whatever the hell you want to call me, that's fine. But if that was my child, I would be livid that they were seeing this kind of stuff, especially on a game that is marketed for children. Now, you can say that that's the game's fault for allowing it to get through the filter, and I partially agree. The filter needs to be better. I like that you're allowed to say more stuff in the game now. I like that you can expand upon a more advanced vocabulary. It's very good for role plays. However, at the same time, you're allowing these teenagers who think they're edgy and cool and quirky for cursing in the game chat to say these things. Like literally just writing S-HIT, you can full on curse to these children. And it's not okay. Like I don't understand why Star Stable's chat system got so lazy. Like it's to the point where you can't say YouTube, but you can tell someone your phone number. So it's like I I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know what to say. Um, every time I do see someone like going out of their way to seek attention in global by cursing or writing a sexual story or something, those sexual stories, by the way, so many kids write them and it's insane. Like these teenagers writing these sexual stories trying to get attention. Every time I see it, just so you know, if you're one of the kids who does that, if I see you, I am taking pictures of everything you've said in chat. I am putting it all on one document. I'm making sure that your name is in it. I'm emailing Star Stable. I am telling them what server you are on, and I am going to get you banned. I have gotten 3 people banned for this already. I have not only gotten 3 people banned, people were making new accounts. Right now there's a glitch where non-star writers can talk in global. I was able to track down their main accounts, and I was able to get not only their false accounts, but their main accounts banned as well. So please don't do this, because that is a lot of money that you are wasting. Because a lot of you are teenagers. I don't even know if it's your money. It might even be your parents' money. Like, don't be doing that stuff. Like, it's so rude. A lot of you guys are going to grow up, and you're going to come back and look at what you did and be like, yeah, that kind of was bad. And don't get me wrong, like I was a teenager too at one point. I understand like why people do those kinds of things for the attention. They think that it'll, whatever they think. But trust me, like, oh, boomer opinion, that doesn't matter. You're such a boomer. It's not good. It's not a good look for you. It's really not. I sound so old. Oh my god, it's so funny. But another thing, this is more directed at Star Stable itself versus the players, but I don't really like the Rainbow Festival that's coming up soon. It's coming out tomorrow. I'm recording this on a Tuesday. Um, can anybody else agree with me? Like, don't get me wrong. It used to be pretty fun. It was a cute little event, but now, like, why did they make it a Pride Month thing? Like, I don't mean to be mean about that kind of stuff, because, like, I have friends who are part of the Pride community. Like, I have friends who are trans. I have friends who are gay. Like, one of my best friends of all time, he's gay. He's amazing. I love him to death. I would do anything for him. But, like, okay, Star Stable used to have an event during Valentine's Day. It went on for several years. They had some amazing Valentine's Day events. You know, they allowed you to do races with your friends, to gain hearts, to trade. They let you buy little, like, teddy bears and all kinds of adorable little Valentine's Day things. And they took all of that away because it's in Star Stable's rules that they do not allow dating. Now, this is nothing against the LGBT whatever community, but why are they going to take away our Valentine's Day event, which is inclusive to everybody, mind you, because it is a holiday of love and friendship? Why are they taking away Valentine's Day and leaving the Pride Month thing? Because if I'm not mistaken, you know, pride and being gay or being bi or whatever have you, it's about loving somebody. You know, is that not what that's all about? It's about love. And if that's the case, that's against our stable's rules. So why did they take away Valentine's Day, but they left Pride Month, which is essentially, you know, I'm going to sound kind of, you know, bad for saying this, but if they're not including straight people in their event for, you know, their technically love-related event, then restricting it to just people in this very, very limited community and very, very small community, then what's the point? Because think about it, like, isn't all, you know, the LGBTQ, isn't all of that, like, about what you do with your partner in a very rated R sense? Like, loving, dating, kissing, all of that stuff. Isn't that what Star Stable isn't about displaying? It feels like that the event is against Star Stable's own rules. I mean, even Valentine's Day was that way, so I understand why they removed Valentine's Day, but why didn't they remove this event? Personally, I don't think Star Stable cares about anything like that. Because remember, Star Stable is a business, it is a brand. It is not any longer a passion project. They sold their company, Star Stable did, for a lot of money. And now it is owned by a company that only creates things for money. That is why horses come out all the time, and that is why a lot of them have no research or any effort put into them at all, like the Tennessee walking horse. That thing was horrible. You know, some of them, you can tell, like, some horses, there was someone in the office who really loved that breed, so they became really good, like the Lipizan, for example. Like, somebody in the office must have had one or something because they did really well with that horse. But regardless, like, as a business, isn't it really, really good as a business to show that you are inclusive, to show inclusivity? That's what businesses do. They're not a gay ally because they, you know, love gay people and want to accept gay people and all that. The only reason they're an ally is because they want to make more money off of gay people. So don't get too upset with me when I say this, but I believe that Star Stable, going against their own rules to have an event about love, specifically gay, is literally just for money. And in a way, I find that kind of sickening to be exploiting this community to get extra money. Now, you know, you can hate me all that you want, but, like, please try and follow my logic with that one. It just doesn't, I don't know. To take away Valentine's Day and all of the small events and to leave that one in just boggles my mind. Along with taking away the small events, let's think back to a few years ago if people were still playing at that time. Do you remember the St. Patrick's Day events and, like, digging for gold and, you know, the Easter egg hunts, trying to find the eggs all around Jorvik, or, oh God, what are the other events? There were so many really good events. What happened to all of them? You know? Like, all of those small events are gone. Now, there can be several reasons for this. Maybe Star Stable got lazy and didn't want to update all of those events, which, you know what, fair enough. But honestly, like what they say for Valentine's Day event, okay, yeah, that makes sense. They took it away because, it's specifically in our rules that we do not allow dating and we do not support dating in this community. Fair. More than fair. But why St. Patrick's Day and all of that? You'll also notice oh my God, my grammar. They took away Santa from the what is now called the Winter Holidays events. They now call it the Winter Holidays. It used to be Christmas. Now, the reason why they took that away, what I am assuming, is because someone must have complained that it was all about the Christianic holidays and it was very, how do I say, exclusive to other cultures. It was very Christian. St. Patrick's Day is about of Ireland when St. Patrick had chased all the snakes from Ireland. Easter, it's the event. I don't really know why you hunt for eggs on Easter, but at the Christian heart of Easter, it's the day that, it's when Jesus rose from the grave. He was crucified on Friday, he was laid to rest on Saturday, and he rose on Sunday. So, that's a very, very Christian holiday. So I understand they might not want to promote certain religions because people do get offended by that. So they went for the Yule holidays. So they got rid of all of these small events. Well, it just feels empty now, Like, Star Stable used to have so many sporadic little events that you could look forward to. And now it's like, what do we have? We have, the open house. They have the Midsummer Festival, Star Stable's birthday, Halloween event, probably my favorite. And then they have the Winter Holidays event. They have 5 events a year, but they're set. Like, you know when they're going to happen. But before, they had events all the time. There's just so much that was taken away from the game. That's all very nostalgia. Speaking of nostalgia, people are complaining a lot about the new UI. Now, personally, I love it. As an old player, as a player who has played since 2015, and I can tell you with utmost certainty, I loved the old UI. It's very nostalgic, but it was time for it to go. Let's face it, like, when you tried to scale that UI or you tried to look at things a little too closely, like, it got so grainy and pixelated. There was no room to add anything to it. It took up so much space. Like, this whole bottom corner of the screen, you just could not see it. Not a fan. Not a fan. And now, with this new UI, they'll be able to add so much new stuff to this this UI. Like, there's going to be so much you can add to the screen. We're gonna the update that with the horses, like I just showed you there. Like, this update had come out. You can now have like those special moments with your horse. Taking care of them gives you XP. So much nicer. Like, your horse can now follow you. Remember when that's all we wanted in an update? We'd be sitting there in a role play, be like, oh my gosh, it'd be so nice if my horse could follow me. You'd have to awkwardly pause the roll, get on your horse, and like move to the next location. So nice. Now that we have that, it's like, why are people complaining so much? I've even seen people saying that they're going to quit the game because the nostalgia factor is gone. This isn't the same Star Stable from 2015. My nostalgia ended when they changed these stone graphics, when they updated this ground. They made it so cartoonish that, oh my gosh, there's someone on an old horse over here. Love you, girl. They ruined the nostalgia the first time they took away the old graphics. So for people to still say that the UI was nostalgic, yeah, sure it was, but what was more nostalgic was the environment. They took the environment away. The old music was nostalgic. Oh my gosh, I can't even begin to describe to you listening to that soundtrack. When I'm sitting outside on a beautiful summer day, when it's nice and cool, there's a little breeze, the sun is shining, and the birds are chirping, and I'm just sitting there minding my own business, having a great day, I just sit there and I think, dang, I want to play Star Stable right now. I still have those thoughts this many years later because that's what I did as a kid. So pardon me for not sympathizing for people saying, oh, the UI was nostalgic. Sure it was, but let's face it, like, it looked like crap. There were health bars at the top. What was the point of that? The shark, At Fort Pinta, someone made that comment the other day. I thought that was creative. Um, can't take credit for that. Other than the shark sometimes attacking you when you were stupid and fell into the water, like there was really no reason for a health bar. Not anymore. I still remember like the pink cat loading screens, and you could take damage, and if you took enough, your horse would be hauled back to your home stable, and it'd say he was injured or something. Oh yeah, and then like you just send your horses away if you wanted them to be happy. You'd send them to like Happy Horse Island and stuff like that. There was like your home stable was like it looked like the old stable where there were like the catty corner stall, a stall in the front, and then two stalls to the side, and it would just shove all your horses into the stable, and you could have like so many horses just in there. There was a limit at one point, I'm pretty sure. That was nostalgia. So honestly, then with the character update coming out, honestly, I'm excited for that too. Like, people are complaining that the nostalgia is gone. The nostalgia's been gone. This is not the same Star Stable as there was in 2015. It's not the same game. It's just not. And I'm not telling people to grow up, but I am saying that, yes, it's an entirely different game, but can we take a second to enjoy the progress that they have made? Look at the horse that I'm riding right now. How many of you are thinking that this is a really gross looking horse? And how many of you are thinking, wow, I remember when that was the horse to get. I remember wanting that horse. I remember it was 990 star coins, and I remember thinking that was an impossible number to achieve. I was waiting for every Saturday to get new star coins and hoping that I wouldn't fall to temptation to spend all of them. Because that was me. That was a lot of us. This was one of the horses that everyone was so excited to get, and now here I am, so many years later, buying it for 300 star coins at Ferdinand's Market before it gets sent away to never be bought again. You know? Like, this isn't the same game. This is a horse now where no one would bat an eye. But back in the day, people looked at you like, this was the end-all be-all, you were cool. Match it with like that blue flame set from Jarlaheim, and you got it, dude. Like, that was the look. But things change. So there's a huge difference now in the gaming community as a whole. Look at these top market games that are coming out now. You're getting what's coming out in 2023. Like, let's look at some games that are being forecasted that I know about. I don't even research video games that much. I know that GTA 6 is bound to come out soon. GTA 5 is still amazing for how old it is. Look at Red Dead Redemption 2 that came out in 2018. That game's old now, guys. Like, Think of these huge games. Look at kids' games that are coming out nowadays. I personally don't know of any, but I guarantee if you looked, there are some phone games with graphics like this, and there are some phone games with graphics like this. That's run on a phone. Star Stable can be run on a phone. And you think that it's not time for change? The community has to change, because if Star Stable continues to look like this and to hold all of the nostalgia, there will be no room for new players. And that is what Star Stable needs to grow. To continue to be a successful gaming company, to continue to successfully produce a product, because that's what Star Stable is. Remember, it is a product. To continue to push that product, they need to have something to push that forward. So, from a business standpoint, this is the future. Making things that look amazing. Like, these areas that Star Stable has been making, they look really good. They've been updating all these areas. Star Stable looks completely different than what it used to. It is an entirely different game, and it is a game that I still enjoy playing to this day. I don't play it for the nostalgia factor. I play it as a standalone game. Yes, it is nostalgic, but it's just not the same game. It's just not. Now, there are some things that I don't still like about Star Stable that I probably never will. It's that back in the day, their teams researched their horses and they took their time. They just didn't have the materials or the tools proper to make the horses what they wanted to make them. They were very limited by their editing softwares and how many people they had in the office, and everything like that. Like, they were very limited, but they didn't care because it was a passion project. Now, Star Stable has the ability to make whatever horse they want, however they want to make it, and they only focus on the visual aspects. Let's look at the Tennessee Walker. They did surface level research at best. They watched maybe one video of them moving, copied their movements for their walk and for their running walk. They probably looked at a video of the carousel canter because they did do that very well. They phoned in the actual canter and they phoned in the gallop. The trot. Walking horses do not trot. They just don't. Okay, there are going to be people who are like, they can. Yes, they can, but they're not supposed to. You can train them to do it, but they are not born to do it, and it ruins what they were born to do. At that point, why do you have a walking horse? Like, seriously. A walking horse is a gaited horse. If you take away their gaitedness, you have any old horse. What is the point? If for their disposition, I can buy that argument. Alright, fair enough. Anyway. The thing that I don't get is they'll do surface level research, they'll make beautiful horses, and then they'll call it a day. Like, I don't like that about them. I don't like that that's what they do. I wish they would put more effort into them. And I wish that they would actually care. Because, let's face it, like, the new company that bought Star Stable don't. It's a product. So, I mean, there are also other breeds that I would complain about. Like, for example, the English Thoroughbred, that's another one to complain about. Their gallop is horrendous. Like, Thoroughbreds throw themselves forward. They dig into their gallop. They are determined. They have soul. The one in Star Stable is a ewe-necked baby. Like, it looks so bad. I can't. So it's like, how are you going to make all of these very popular breeds and not actually make them? Because think about it, Star Stable is a product, like, the horses that they are requested to make, because I know that the Tennessee Walking Horse was heavily requested. I was one of the ones who requested it. They make them based off of request. What do kids request? What they see on TV and in movies. What do horses in TVs and movies do when they are a specific breed? They show off the best aspects of the breed. They're not going to show you a Pasifino that trots. They are not going to show you a walking horse that trots. They are not going to show you an Arabian thoroughbred that just acts calm and, like, hangs out in the corner. They are going to show you a walking horse, big chest, head up in the air, legs super high out and extended. They're going to show them digging in the back. They're going to show them big and bold and moving, and they're going to show them doing what they were born to do. A Pasifino, you're going to hear them tap, 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 tap. That's the reason why Pasifinos are loved in Western movies, because people love hearing the hoof beats on the ground. Passos are used because they make so much noise and they have steps so often, but they don't really move that fast, so they're easy to control. That's why people love Passos. People, Arabians, look at the Black Stallion. Excuse me. Look at any Black Stallion movie. Look at any movie with Arabians in it. It is almost always a black Arabian stallion. Black is also a very uncommon color for Arabians. I learned that the other day. Arabians are not going to be seen being super calm and chill. You're going to see them running through the Arabian desert. You're going to see them being worshipped by their people, used by their people for everything that they were born to do. These are desert endurance horses. They can run for a long time. That's what they were designed to do. This is like the core aspects of the breed, and Star Stable cuts out all the soul involved in these horses and makes them look pretty and then fashions them off as a project, and, you know, some random project, and says, oh, you know, here you go, here's another dressage horse. Every single horse in this game is tailored to the ability to make, you know, for dressage, because that's what kids like and that's what's popular, which is fine. But can there not be any diversity? Like, I understand that it doesn't pay, but if that's the case, why did you waste the resources in doing it at all? Because trust me, you're going to have a much more passionate player base if you actually do what they want. Because as of right now, like, as much as I love this game, there's so much about it that I hate, and it's wrong. And I want to tell kids the truth about these breeds because I don't want them going on the rest of their life saying, oh, well, this horse can do that because Star Stable told me and Star Stable's right. Because it's not. The majority of the time, Star Stable is wrong. There's another example is the paint or the Appaloosa. Why is the Appaloosa gated? I cannot wrap my head around that one. They made the Appaloosa in this game gated. The Appaloosa is not gated. They also made its tail too long and too thick. Like, they did no research on that breed either. Like, I already did a review on the Appaloosa as I did the walking horses, so I'm just rambling. But, like, I don't know. I feel like people complain about the things that they love. And that's the reason why I complain about Star Stable so much, is because I love this game. Even as an adult, I love this game so much. It is probably one of my favorite games. Granted, I don't play it all the time because, you know, I've trained almost all of my horses. The only reason I'm on right now is to finish training this one. But with that in mind, like, I'm still coming back. I've been playing for almost 10 years. You know, in 2 years, it'll have been 10 years. Wow, that makes me feel old. But why do people keep coming back to these games and why do people complain about them? Because there's something that was drawing them in to begin with. I can't tell you exactly what drew me in 8 years ago, but I'll tell you what makes me come back. It is the nostalgia and that I still have faith that they'll be able to do better in the future. Maybe my faith is misplaced. Maybe, you know, I'm holding on to a hope simply because of nostalgia, simply because this is a game that I can play after work and just enjoy. The reason why I keep coming back to this game and why I love it so much is because it's a game where I don't have to be competitive. I don't have to get on and, you know, think a lot. I can turn off my brain and just train a horse or just do a role play or something. Like, it doesn't require a lot of attention to detail. It's a game that it's very pretty to look at. It still has a level of nostalgia to it. It has a level of accomplishment. And it's just a fun way to pass the time. I think I'll always hold those opinions of this game. And I have some old friends that still play with me. None from when I first started, but I have friends in this game who are at least 2, 3, 4, 5 years. My, Kira Oakwild, she's one. I've met her in real life at this point. She and I essentially grew up together virtually at this point. Another one who I still talk to, Caitlin Coyote Eagle, how you doing, honey? You know, it's people like that who you've known for a while that still play the game and still come back. It's good to see those faces. It's good to have those talks. It's good to see what's going on, how life is going. It's a virtual community, and it has a level of compassion about it that's so great. And to loop this full circle, to end this video out, the reason why I think it's so disgusting and disrespectful and horrid that all of these teenagers who think they're cool are like cursing and spitting and like saying all this disgusting stuff in global. And I honestly, it's so bad to where I know that if I open up global at any point within the past like global session, I will obviously find somewhere where someone cussed or made a sexual joke or had some innuendo for something. It's impossible to go without these days. Like, what would this game have been if it was like that when I was younger? Would I have stayed? Would I have fed into it? It was not like that this many years ago, and if it was on a much smaller scale that was way more heavily regulated. If there was drama or anything like that, it was kept out of global because people didn't care. And now kids are taught that that's all people care about, so that's all they do. Imagine if, when you started playing this game, all that was in the chat were people cursing and making sex comments and all kinds of stuff. Would you have been allowed to play this game? And think about that truthfully. Like, is this a game that your parents would have allowed you to play? Is this a game where you could comfortably show your parents, that, oh, look at this new horse that Star Stable came out with. Isn't this cool? If you could comfortably show your screen to your parents with global open and know that they'll be reading the stuff that is being said, would you be okay with that? Why or why not? And if you are in that, 14 to 17 range who's like, oh no, my parents wouldn't care, like they don't care at all, like I can say whatever I want. Really? Are you sure? Like, seriously sit down and think about that. And if you won't think about that for yourself, think about it for other kids. And if you don't care about those other kids, get off the game. Like, seriously, there's no point for you to be playing when this game is a community-based game. It really is. You're not helping the community. In fact, you are actively making it worse. So, all I can say is I know that this is going to create a little bit of discourse amongst people if they even bother to watch. And, people are going to be upset with my opinion, and that's fine. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. You can agree with me and disagree with me. In fact, write a comment. Tell me what you think. To round this video off, I guess I would just say that for as much as I love and hate Star Stable, they are going in the right direction. I would love if they paid more freaking attention to the horses that they're making and slowed down and take their time. I wish that they would go back and update some of the older things in this game, like their characters, to make, like, Jasper, for example. They just updated Miss Holdsworth. Update Jasper, Get these characters who are key to the story and give them a new flair. They deserve it. They've been around for a while. Make them the best that they can be, I'm not even asking for more story. Just give them a new coat of paint, because clearly that's what they've been doing, what they've been working on. Speaking of, Hidden Valley, Dino, Valley of the Hidden Dinosaur, or whatever the hell it's called in English. I didn't forget about you. Like, that area needs updated. And if they're going to wait until they have better materials to update it, do it. Take as much time as you need, Star Stable. Don't worry about it. Update it when you have the chance and the resources. Make it look great. I know you can. But, yeah, it's just... If there's anything that I didn't properly touch on that you would like me to go in more detail with, please write a comment. I will be sure to get back to you. I will be sure to answer. I want to know what you guys think. I want to know if I'm the only one who's having issues with this stuff, or if it's other people as well. Like, do you see the things that I am seeing, or have I just reached old person age where am I just an old person now, or I just focus too much on that kind of stuff? I don't know. Like, I truly don't know. I am very opinionated, I will agree. There's a lot of stuff that I know people won't agree about, especially with the whole, like, taking away the Pride Month thing. I know a lot of people are going to hate me for that, which is fine. But, like, I'm just pointing out what Star Stable's rules are and how they really don't look like a company who cares, despite how much they say they do. It's just hard to believe them at this point, like, with how many horrendously made horses they have done, and with, these events, and, like, taking away certain events and not others. It's pandering, in my opinion. Especially, like, again, with that whole thing is like, oh, well, they care and I'm part of that community. That's good that you're part of that community. Respect yourself more. Like, if you're really part of that community, do you really want to spend money on a game that is pandering to you just because you're part of that community? Like, isn't that a little... They're using you, Like, doesn't that feel like they're using you? Personally, I'm not part of that community, so I don't know. But it largely feels like large companies will put that on their brand just to get more money out of people who are part of that community. So I apologize if I'm being too harsh, because I don't understand. But please help me figure out what your opinions are, because truly, like, to me, it does not look like they are an alliance to you. It does not look like they care about you. It just looks like they see you as an opportunity to get more money. Why do you think that during those events they're now going to be coming out with new horses and new tax sets? It's because they know that you'll buy it. It's because those bows that you can buy those tech sets display that you're part of that community, and people who are part of communities want to show it. They want to display it. They want people to know. They want to be included. So how do you show inclusivity? Is that you show it on yourself. So tell me exactly why you think that they actually care. Because it just smells like it's just money, you know? That's all they want. And yeah, I still play this game despite the fact that all they want is money. I'll accept it. I don't spend any money on this game anymore. I've been playing for 8 years. There's no reason for me to spend money on it. But, you know, just a few questions to think about as you're playing or, just sitting in bed, listening. Whatever you're choosing to do right now. I know this video's gone on long enough and, I'll end it here. But it's just food for thought. I think that is something that would be good to consider. So, thank you all for listening or watching if you were actually watching. I don't, it's not much to look at. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day and keep me engaged in the comments. Let's see what you all come up with. Bye.